So we just previewed in terms of what Manny Pacquiao can do in this fight to try and overcome the champ Floyd Mayweather, undefeated. So now we're going to talk about what Mayweather's good at. I mean, more people know what Mayweather's good at, and a lot of people watching him admire his technique, and I just admire his defensive capabilities. He's just phenomenal for me to watch, and how he can avoid punches and come out just looking squeaky clean at the end of fights. And we brought in Shane Faison and Brenton Harden here, our boxing experts, to talk about what Mayweather's going to have to do perhaps differently in this fight. That's the first question I want to ask, and I'll throw to you first this time, Brenton. Is that what is he going to do differently, if anything, than what he has done in his previous fights, now fighting an opponent like Manny Pacquiao?
Well, I think what a lot of people will be surprised that Floyd is going to do differently is after he actually adjusts. It's going to take him about 3 or 4 rounds, as it always does. I think he's going to start to walk Manny Pacquiao down. He's going to make him fight off the back foot. It's been long assumed that Manny Pacquiao can't fight backing up and that he doesn't have a good inside fighting game. If you ever watch Manny Pacquiao when he is, approached by someone on the inside, he either balls up and he puts up his gloves, or he tries to tie him up, and he doesn't necessarily tie up well either. So if Floyd Mayweather can force him to fight off the back foot, which has been talked about that he's been doing to all of his sparring partners, he's been very aggressive, walking forward, knocking some guys down and stopping them. I think that we could actually see a surprise in this fight. I'll hold off for the next clip, but I think that we're actually going to see Floyd a little bit more aggressive earlier than we typically do.
Yeah, and Shane, we've seen videos out that have been leaked so well of both of these guys training. We've got Pacquiao running around the streets of LA, and we talked about it before. We've got Mayweather chopping down woods in a Rocky Balboa style. Is that something you were surprised to see from Mayweather, working on what seemed to be power?
Yeah, it seems it, and it makes you wonder, is he actually training that so that Pacquiao's going to adjust to that?
Yeah.
Or is he still doing the same thing that he's always been doing? Is he trying to, throw him a curveball? But maybe he looks bigger, he looks more muscular in the pictures that we've seen. Maybe he is trying to go for that power punch. He's knocked people out. He's knocked Ricky Hatton out. He has.
I remember that.
He has the power to do so. It was in the 10th round, I believe. But even still, and what's funny, what Britton was talking about is the first couple of rounds. Yeah, Mayweather's definitely going to adjust. That's what he does. And a lot of people are talking about Mayweather's straight left hand, southpaw, and how that's going to be trouble against Mayweather. So, I'm sorry, Pacquiao's left hand, how that's going to be trouble against Mayweather. So, I did my research and I was looking at it, and the most recent southpaw that Mayweather fought was Guerrero, and he's way too slow to even consider him to be similar to Pacquiao. So, Zab Judah is another one. Years ago, he fought Zab Judah. Yeah. Zab Judah's quick. Zab Judah has a great left hand like Pacquiao, and Mayweather was defending against it fine. Yeah. Right? In that Philly shell stance, he did fine against it, and I think he's going to be able to defend in the early rounds. He may lose the first couple of rounds, but I think rounds 5 through 12 are going to be all Mayweather.
And I gave Zab in that fight, because that was one of the fights that I referred to. I gave Zab the first 4 to 5 rounds in that fight before Floyd made the adjustment. Yeah. And the adjustment that Floyd made in that fight, as well as against Victor Ortiz, is he circled to his own left. Yeah. Now, when you're an orthodox fighting a southpaw fighter and you circle to your own left, you take away the southpaw's left hand. Yeah. Manny Pacquiao will have to shoot the left hand over his own body,
leaving him susceptible.
Leaving him susceptible to so many different punches that an excellent counter puncher would throw. Yeah. So I doubt that he would even try, which would make him rely on his right jab. Yeah. Now, Manny doesn't have the best jab. Yeah. He usually pumps it to disguise the left hand coming. So what that would make him do is rely on this hand. And when he shoots this hand, what Floyd is going to do is lean further to his left and shoot his straight right hand. And Manny's going to run right into it. Yeah. The same way he did against Marquez. So, I mean, hopefully Freddie Roach has been training him for that. I don't know how you train to kind of sidestep that. You know, he's going to have to use his feet a lot more. And he's been having those cramps lately. Yeah. So, we just don't know where that's going to take him.
Yeah. That was like Let's Talk Tactics there, my soccer clip. That's what it was like on boxing. I was imagining what you were saying, but I was just, it was so fascinating to me, because now that you explain it, I could see how that happens and how that his body would maybe perhaps open up. So one question that we asked in the previous clip was, whether Pacquiao could knock down Mayweather, because that's a question that people are saying. That's when you look at headlines, as much as I maybe know a little bit more boxing than what other people out there just generalise, but they'll go out and they'll say, oh, the only way he can win is by knocking down Mayweather. That's the only way Pacquiao can win, which I don't technically agree with, because it's really pretty impossible to do. But could we see Mayweather perhaps been a little bit more aggressive toward the end of the fight with Pacquiao's recent history now, that ever since when the first fight was firstly predicted, Pacquiao's been knocked down a couple of times. Is that going to change Mayweather's stance? Do you think that he could actually knock out Pacquiao in the later stages of the fight?
I think that's exactly what he's training for. He's added some new wrinkles to his training camp, his game. Like we discussed last time, he's been swimming, which promotes flexibility and also promotes long, lean muscle. He's been chopping wood, which is that's ultimate power right there.
Right.
It's ultimate resistance. And
One for Rocky.
Exactly, and that's and that's what he's training for. Yeah. So in some of the interview clips that he's been doing, he's been talking about, I want to leave no question in anyone's mind that I am the better fighter on May 2nd. Yeah. What other way to do that than to go for the knockout? He hasn't explicitly said that, but I think that he comes out and he's a little bit more aggressive than we usually see him perform in a fight, and I think he's going to go for a knockout.
Yeah. I disagree just in the latter. I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive. I don't think he's going to chance it and go for a knockout. I don't think Mayweather needs to chance that unless he's in a dire situation where he thinks he lost majority of the rounds, but I don't think he's going to go for a knockout, not Floyd Mayweather.
Well, see, there's subtle things with Floyd. When he's going for a knockout, he's not necessarily throwing 50, 60 non-stop punches at you. If you go back and look at the Guerrero fight, I think it was round 9 when he hurt his hand, that was him going for the knockout. He's a little bit more precautious when he's going for the knockout than a Manny Pacquiao. Yeah. Even when he fought Marcos Maidana, I think it was round 9 after Maidana bit his glove, he hit him with a couple of good body shots that hurt Maidana. That was his way of going for the knockout. So I don't see him going crazy, throwing 60 punches nonstop, just walking him down. But I do see him being a little bit more cautious, walking towards his man, pushing him backwards, and if he sees the opening, he's going to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Floyd, if you're watching, I'd love to see you throw a bunch of punches and go for a knockout. It'd be great entertainment. Well, there you have it, talking about Floyd Money Mayweather in this fight, and document his profile. Thanks again to Britton Harden and Shane Faison. You guys can check out both of them and their Twitter handles, and everything will be in the description below. And come back as we're going to be predicting the fight. Both of these guys are going to put their neck on the line and say what they think is going to happen. Stay tuned.